Hey everyone, welcome to Talk Skeleton. I'm George Skeleton, your host.
And I'm Nora. And George, today's topic, I feel like every single person listening right now has felt exactly this.
Exactly this what?
That feeling. You're watching an English movie, you understand everything, every word, every joke, every emotion.
And then someone asks you a simple question in English, and suddenly...
Nothing. Complete silence. Like every word you ever learned just disappeared.
like your brain decided, you know what, I quit. Today's not the day.
And you're standing there thinking, but I understood that entire movie. Why can't I say one sentence right now?
If you've ever felt that, this episode is for you. Because today we're answering one of the biggest questions in English learning.
Why do I understand English but can't speak it?
And more importantly, what do you actually do about it?
Before we start, subscribe to Talk Skeleton, because if this question sounds familiar, the answer is coming, and you don't want to miss it.
Now, Nora, let me ask you something honest.
Go ahead.
When you were learning, did you ever have that moment you understood everything, but speaking felt impossible?
Every single day. I remember sitting in an English class, understanding the teacher perfectly, but the moment she asked me a direct question, my mind just went blank.
Blank, that word. Every learner knows that word.
It's like the words are there, you can see them, but you can't reach them fast enough.
And that feeling, that gap between understanding and speaking, it has a name. Linguists call it the input-output gap.
Input-output gap. That sounds complicated, but it's actually very simple.
Think of it this way. Your brain has two completely different skills, receiving language and producing language.
Receiving is listening and reading. You take language in, you process it, you understand it.
Producing is speaking and writing. You create language. You put it out into the world.
And here's the thing most people don't realize. These two skills are not the same muscle.
Not even close. Understanding English uses one part of your brain. Speaking English uses a completely different part.
So when you watch movies and listen to podcasts, you're training one muscle, but speaking needs a different muscle entirely.
And most learners, they train the receiving muscle for years, but almost never train the producing muscle.
So when speaking time comes, that muscle is weak, untrained, unprepared.
It's like watching someone exercise at the gym every day, studying every movement, understanding every technique, and then one day stepping onto the field and realizing watching is not the same as playing.
That comparison, it's so accurate, it almost hurts.
Almost. Now, here's something important. This is not your fault. Nobody told you this. Most English courses focus almost entirely on input, on listening, on reading, on understanding.
And then they expect speaking to just appear, like magic.
But speaking doesn't appear by itself. It needs to be practiced separately, deliberately, consistently.
Now, there's a second reason why this gap exists, and this one is more emotional.
Tell me.
Fear. Simple, honest fear.
Empathy. When you're listening, nobody is judging you. Nobody sees your mistakes. You're safe.
But when you speak, suddenly you're exposed. Every word, every mistake, every hesitation, visible.
And that vulnerability, that feeling of being seen, it freezes people. It shuts the speaking muscle down completely.
Even when the words are there, even when you know what to say, fear arrives first, and fear is louder than knowledge.
Now, listeners, be honest with yourself. How many times have you stayed silent, not because you didn't know the words, but because you were afraid of how they would come out?
Write in the comments. Tell us, do you understand English better than you can speak it? Just say yes or no. We want to know how many of you feel this.
Because you are not alone, not even close. And knowing why this happens, that's the first step to fixing it.
You're not broken. You're not slow. You're not bad at English. You just trained one muscle and forgot about the other.
And today, we start training the right one. So now we know why the gap exists. Two different muscles and fear, but knowing why is only half the answer.
The other half is, what do you actually do about it?
Exactly, because understanding a problem feels good, but it doesn't fix anything. Action fixes things.
So let's talk about real solutions, things you can actually do, starting today, not someday, today.
First thing, and this might sound strange, talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself.
In English, yes, I'm completely serious.
Okay, tell me more.
Most learners wait for a conversation partner. They think, I'll practice speaking when I find someone to speak with. But that wait, it can go on forever.
And while you're waiting, the speaking muscle stays weak.
So don't wait. Start now, alone, in your room, in the bathroom, in the kitchen while you're cooking.
Just narrate your life, in English, out loud.
I'm making coffee. It's a little cold today. I need to finish this before I go out.
Simple sentences, basic thoughts, but spoken out loud, in English, in your own voice.
And at first, it will feel strange, maybe even a little embarrassing, even when nobody's watching.
Because our brains are dramatic like that.
But after a few days, something shifts. The words start coming faster. The sentences start feeling more natural. Your mouth starts getting used to English sounds and rhythms.
Because you're finally training the right muscle.
Second thing, stop translating.
This one is so important and so difficult.
Most learners, when they want to say something in English, they think of it in their native language first. Then they translate it word by word into English.
And that process, that translation, it takes time. Too much time for a real conversation.
By the time you've translated your sentence, the moment has passed, the conversation has moved on, and you're left standing there with perfectly translated words and nobody to say them to.
Empathy, that feeling, I know that feeling so well.
So the solution is to start thinking in English, not translating into English, thinking in it.
And how do you start doing that?
Small, very small. Pick 5 words today, 5 English words, and every time your brain produces that thought, think it in English.
Like, instead of thinking the word for hungry in your language, think hungry. Just that one word in English.
Then tomorrow, add 5 more words, and the day after, 5 more. Slowly, your brain starts building a direct English channel. No translation needed.
It's like building a shortcut. Instead of going the long way through your native language, you build a direct road straight to English.
And once that road exists, speaking becomes faster, more automatic, more natural.
Third thing, use what you already know.
This is where many learners sabotage themselves. They wait until they know enough English to speak, but enough never comes.
There's always more vocabulary, always more grammar, always one more thing to learn before they feel ready.
Ready is a lie. Nobody is ever completely ready, not even native speakers.
So instead of waiting, use what you have right now, today.
You know simple words. Use them. You know basic sentences. Use them. You know, hello, how are you? I think, I feel, I want, I need.
That's already enough to start a conversation.
And here's something beautiful. Simple English spoken with confidence sounds better than complicated English spoken with fear.
Always, every time.
A simple sentence said clearly and calmly, that connects, that communicates, that works.
But a complicated sentence whispered with hesitation and doubt, that gets lost, even if every word is technically correct.
Communication is not about complexity, it's about connection.
Empathy. And connection doesn't need perfect grammar. It needs courage.
Now, fourth thing, and this one is about fear, because we said fear is one of the main reasons people can't speak, so we need to talk about it directly.
Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of sounding wrong.
Here's the truth about mistakes. Every mistake you make in English, every wrong word, every confused tense, every mispronounced sound, it teaches your brain something.
Something that no textbook ever could.
Because your brain remembers mistakes more than it remembers correct sentences.
Mistakes create emotion, and emotion creates memory.
So the next time you say something wrong and someone corrects you, don't be embarrassed. Be grateful.
Your brain just received information it will never forget.
And the people who judge you for making mistakes, they've never tried to learn a second language, so their opinion doesn't count.
Not even a little bit. Write in the comments. Tell us, do you understand English better than you can speak it? Just say yes or no. We want to know how many of you feel this.
Because you are not alone, not even close. And knowing why this happens, that's the first step to fixing it. Now, let's talk about something that nobody really tells you. Something that changed everything for me personally.
What's that?
The difference between passive English and active English.
Passive and active. Explain that.
Passive English is everything you consume: movies, podcasts, songs, books. You receive it, you enjoy it, you understand it, but you don't produce anything.
And active English is everything you create, every sentence you speak, every word you write, every thought you express in English.
Most learners have years of passive English and almost zero active English.
And that imbalance, that's exactly why the gap exists.
So the solution is simple. Not easy, but simple. You need to start converting your passive English into active English.
How?
Every time you watch something in English, don't just watch, repeat. Pause the video, say the sentence out loud in your own voice.
Even if it feels strange, even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, say it.
Every time you read something in English, summarize it, out loud, in your own words, even one sentence, even badly.
Because badly spoken English today becomes naturally spoken English tomorrow.
And that's the part nobody tells you. Fluency doesn't arrive one day fully formed. It builds, slowly, quietly, one bad sentence at a time.
One brave attempt at a time.
Now, let's talk about consistency, because this is where most people fail. Not because they're not smart enough, not because English is too hard.
But because they practice for 3 days, feel no progress and stop, and then start again 2 weeks later and stop again and start again.
That cycle, it's so common, and it keeps so many learners exactly where they started. Here's the truth about language learning. Your brain doesn't care about intensity, it cares about consistency.
10 minutes every day beats 3 hours on Sunday every single time.
Because language lives in repetition, in daily contact, in small moments of practice that add up quietly, invisibly, into real progress.
And progress in language learning is strange. You don't feel it while it's happening. You feel it one random day when a sentence comes out perfectly and you think, wait, when did that become easy?
That day always comes, but only if you stay consistent enough to reach it.
So what does consistent practice actually look like? Not the perfect version, the real version.
5 minutes in the morning, talking to yourself while you make breakfast, describing what you're doing in English.
10 minutes during the day, listening to an English podcast, repeating sentences out loud.
5 minutes at night, thinking about your day in English, what happened, how you felt, what you did.
That's 20 minutes total. 20 minutes, that's it.
And in those 20 minutes, you are training the speaking muscle every single day, without pressure, without stress.
Without waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect partner or the perfect level of readiness.
Because the perfect moment doesn't exist. This moment exists, and this moment is enough.
Now, something I want every listener to understand, something important.
Go ahead, Nora.
In the gap between understanding and speaking, it's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you've been doing one thing very well, and now it's time to add the other thing.
You built a beautiful foundation, years of listening, years of understanding, years of taking English in.
Now it's time to let it out.
And letting it out will feel uncomfortable at first. Your sentences will be slow. Your words will come out in the wrong order sometimes. You'll forget vocabulary you definitely know.
And all of that is completely normal, expected, part of the process.
Because your speaking muscle is new. It's a beginner, even if the rest of your English is not.
Give it time. Give it patience. Give it the same kindness you'd give any beginner.
You wouldn't tell a child learning to walk, "Why are you so slow? Why do you keep falling? What's wrong with you?"
Never. You'd encourage them. You'd celebrate every step, every attempt, every brave, wobbly moment.
Do the same for yourself. Every time you open your mouth and try, that's a step. That's a win. That deserves to be celebrated.
Not judged, not criticized, celebrated.
Now, let's leave you with 3 things. 3 things you can do starting today, not tomorrow, today.
1. Talk to yourself in English for 5 minutes. Describe your morning, your mood, your plans, out loud in English.
2. Pick one sentence from this episode, just one, and say it out loud 10 times until it feels natural in your mouth.
3. Write in the comments one thing you want to say in English but have always been afraid to say. Say it there. Practice it. We'll be reading.
Because comments are safe. Comments are practice. And practice, any practice, is progress.
If today's episode helped you, subscribe to Talk Skeleton. Share it with someone who understands English but struggles to speak it.
Because that person exists in your life, and they need to hear this today.
You are not broken. You are not behind. You are training. And training takes time. And time, given consistently and patiently, always pays off.
Until next time, keep going, keep speaking, calm mind, clear English.
See you in the next episode. Keep going. You've got this.